Zealand wants this store out, but the owner of the shop says he plans to fight by any means.
Harvey Weinstein's trip to prison interrupted, where he could be waking up this morning.
And the White House wants more money to fight COVID-19, just how much they're asking for.
Plus, winter weather may be shifting a little out of West Michigan. I'll let you know who's still going to get snow and how much. It is 6:30. You're up with 13.
Men and women of the greatest country on earth are going to defeat this coronavirus and reclaim our future.
Breaking overnight, lawmakers say they have a deal on the largest stimulus bill in American history. We break down what that means for you. Plus, the impacts of the crisis, seemingly endless, how it's affecting a local nonprofit that helps some of the most vulnerable in our community. And police this morning still searching for the person responsible for a murder in West Michigan. It's 6 o'clock. You're up with 13.
You're watching 13 on your side.
Shutdowns coming to factory workers of 3 major automakers. What will happen to employees who cannot work from home? And a fire destroyed a Muskegon home. What was uncovered in the rubble that has police asking questions? And Joe Biden closer to securing the Democratic presidential nominee, the direct appeal he made to Bernie Sanders supporters last night. It's 6 o'clock. You're up with 13.
You're watching 13 on your side.
Good morning, West Michigan. It's 6 o'clock on this Wednesday, March 18th. You're up with 13. I'm James, and about 6+ feet away from me is meteorologist Laura Hartman. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning.
Camity has the morning off, so thank you so much for waking up with us. But here at 13 on your side, we're dedicated to keeping you safe and helping you understand the severity of the coronavirus outbreak. So in order to practice what we preach, we want to remind you to practice social distancing. We also want to show you that as well. But we'll go to meteorologist Laura Hardman for a check of our forecast.
Hey, James. Yeah, beautiful day yesterday, St. Patrick's.
The United States marking a grim milestone in the COVID-19 pandemic. The U.S. now has more confirmed cases of the virus than any other country, surpassing both Italy and China. There are now more than 85,000 cases and more than 1,200 deaths. New York City, the epicenter of the outbreak in the U.S., has 25% of all the deaths in our country. States like Louisiana and California now bracing for more of a surge in cases as well. And the virus now impacting our military service members. A U.S. Navy aircraft carrier is being diverted so that all 5,000 aboard can be tested for coronavirus. Now, these sobering new numbers put more urgency on today's vote on a record $2.2 trillion emergency package, which President Trump says he will sign. The House of Representatives is expected to vote this morning on the economic stimulus bill that will give most Americans money during the coronavirus crisis. The Senate voted unanimously to pass this bill Wednesday. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she expects it will pass the House with strong bipartisan support. It provides, depending on income, up to $1,200 for individuals and $2,400 to married couples. Now, our state ranks near the top in the nation with the most cases, as the state announced more than 500 new cases just yesterday. The total number of cases is now more than 2,800. New cases include 17 deaths, bringing the statewide total to 60. All of the deaths are from the east side of the state, with the exception of one from Mecosta County. There are 41 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Kent County, 18 in Ottawa County, and 3 in Muskegon County. Hospitals are constantly having to evolve to this ongoing crisis. Spectrum Health is now closing walk-in clinics. 13 on your side's Shanna Grove has more on this decision and the contingency plan in place should Spectrum need more hospital beds. Shanna?
So Spectrum Health announced late last night it's closing all of its walk-in clinics throughout West Michigan. Now, this takes effect immediately with the hopes of limiting unnecessary exposure to COVID-19. Spectrum Health is encouraging people to connect virtually with the doctor. If it's not an emergency, a face-to-face visit is required. Patients can still go to urgent cares, which are still open. Spectrum is also preparing for the event its hospitals go over capacity. Spectrum showed off its new alternative care site to the governor last night. The site inside one of Grand Valley State's health buildings would provide space for up to 250 beds.
And we've had this partnership and plan in place for over 10 years. Never thought that there would be a chance where we'd really be thinking about, do we put this into place? And so in one hand, I'm extremely grateful. I'm saddened that this could be the next step.
Whitmer praised the partnership, calling it an all-hands-on-deck strategy. And James Spectrum says its team spent part of this week going through drills in the event that they do have to move operations over to that Grand Valley site.
Thank you so much, Shanna. Now, also with that, with hospitals along the east side of the state swamped with patients, facilities in West Michigan are trying to help. As you can see, Mary Free Bed Rehabilitation Hospital in Grand Rapids will accept patients in need of rehab from the Detroit area. Bringing them here will free up more beds for the growing number of people with COVID-19 in the state. Governor Gretchen Whitmer requested that other hospitals join in this effort and open its doors for patients recovering from illnesses not related to the coronavirus. And Governor Whitmer is hoping a federal disaster declaration could help fight this outbreak in our state. Now, she's asking President Trump for this declaration. Now, if it's granted, the state would be able to provide meals to families, rent assistance, and more. The president has been critical of the governor during this crisis, and the governor is also reminding everyone the stay-at-home order she signed Monday is not optional and is the best way to keep the coronavirus from spreading.
And it doesn't mean inviting 10 of your closest friends over for dinner or hosting a party at your house. It means staying home with the people with whom you live. If we don't all do our part, more people are going to get sick and more people are going to die. And this will go on longer than it needs to.
Governor Whitmer is also addressing the shortage of protective gear and other medical equipment for hospitals. She says her administration has been able to track down and secure more supplies, but more is needed. A new poll is shedding light on how Michiganders feel about President Trump's response to this pandemic. 3 universities, including Oakland University, polled just under 1,000 Michiganders. They found that 51% of people either strongly or somewhat approve of the president's response. Almost 43% disapprove and 6% were not sure. For Governor Whitmer, though, 69% either strongly or somewhat approve of her response. 21% say they're disapprove and nearly 10 were not sure. Now, for those who have more questions about the coronavirus, there's an opportunity for you to directly interact with the Kent County Health Department. Today at 2 p.m., the department is holding a virtual town hall. Health officials will be on Facebook Live answering any COVID-19 related questions. They're also accepting questions via Facebook Messenger before that meeting begins. And I know it seems every day there's new information about this virus and its impact in our state and, of course, all around the world. To help you keep track of it all, we've dedicated a page to the coronavirus pandemic. You can find all the latest developments at 13onyourside.com/coronavirus. Now, in other news, Ottawa County deputies are investigating a body pulled from the shoreline in Park Township. Thursday, deputies were called to North Lakeshore Drive, just north of Tunnel Park. There, they found a man floating in the water near the shoreline. An autopsy will be performed at a Grand Rapids hospital. Muskegon Heights police have identified the man whose body was found in Mona Lake Tuesday afternoon. Crews pulled 71-year-old James Heiza from the lake after people walking in Mona Lake Park saw him. He was about 15 feet from the shore. Police say there's no sign of trauma to that body. Now, here are the top 3 questions about the economic relief bill expected to pass in the House this morning. Are the stimulus checks going to be taxed? Will retired Americans be eligible? And if you do not fill out the census, can you still receive that money? The answer to all these questions and more when 13 on Your Side Mornings returns.
And you might be asking, when is it going to rain next? Because we've got plenty on the way in the coming days. I'll take you through the weekend where Saturday and Sunday are both going to be soggy. It is 5:09. You're up with 13.